How's it going, guys? Scoot here. Today I'm gonna make an updated any percent guide for Amnesia Machine for Pigs. It's actually something I wanted to do for a long time, but I never really got around to it. And now that I'm back messing around with the game, I figured I might as well get it out of the way. So yeah, let's get into it. So the first thing you're probably gonna want to do is you're gonna want to go to speedrun.com. And I'll have a link to this page in the description, so you don't even have to go there. But normally you'd go to speedrun.com, you'd type in Amnesia, and then you'd go to a machine for pigs, and then click on resources. That would take you to this page. Once you're here, you're going to want to download both the load remover, which has the scriptable auto splitter in it, and the live split file with all the splits set up. And then the AMFP 1.01 DRM free. The reason you want to download the 1.0 version of the game and not play on the Steam version of the game is because there are a few tricks that we do that work on the 1.0 version of the game that don't currently work on the Steam patch of the game. That being said, the Steam patch of the game is completely viable to run on. It's only slightly slower, and there have been many runners that run on the Steam version of the game, me being one of them. I'm pretty sure my PB is on the Steam version of the game from 3 years ago. But yeah, it's fine. The only thing that's different is a few of the maps, the strats are different, and it's just slightly slower to play on. So for the sake of going fast, this entire any percent guide is going to be done on 1.01. But I'm sure that if you're interested in running on the Steam patch, it's very easy for you to reach out to someone and find out the small route changes for the maps that are different. So yeah, once you have this downloaded, you're going to install it, open the game, and then after you're going to go to your documents, Amnesia, Pig, and then you're going to find your main settings. You're going to open with Notepad, and once you're in here, you're going to put save config equal to true if it's not already equal to true to begin with. And then where are we? Load debug menu. You're going to make that equal true as well. It's going to be equal false by default, and then set it to equal true. You can also mess with some other stuff in here if you want to. This isn't something that we're going to be using for speedrunning per se, like during runs, because quick save, quick load are not allowed during runs. But this is probably the most useful thing that you can do when it comes to learning and practicing the speedrun. So I highly recommend that you guys have a save file with the debug menu enabled so that you're able to go in and load maps and practice. So that being said, you can save it. I have mine set as read only, just so it doesn't update at all, but that's on you. You don't have to do that. Let's see. Live split. So you downloaded the load remover. It comes with these splits right here, and it also comes with the actual auto splitter script. So what you're going to do when you first open live split, which you're going to have to download, I'll put a link in the description, you're going to click on the timer. It's only going to be a timer when you first open live split. You're going to hit open splits, and then the splits that you just downloaded. After you have that done, you're going to hit edit layout, and then hit the plus sign at the top. That'll give you an option to add control, scriptable auto splitter, which I already have. So I'm going to double click on it, and then you just find the script path, hit OK, and you're good. The final thing that you have to remember to do is you want to hit compare against and then game time. If you do compare against real time, the auto splitter will split, but it won't pause on load, so it won't be removing your load times. So make sure that you have it checked off on game time. All right, now that we have all of that out of the way, we can get into learning the route. Alright, now that we're back in game, the one thing we have to touch on before we learn the route is options. So you'll notice right off the bat that I'm pretty much playing on max settings with post effects turned off, of course. High texture quality, trilinear texture filter. The reason I play on such high settings is I feel personally that I can be more precise with visual cues on setting up tricks than I can on lower texture quality. That being said, I'm well aware that majority of runners play this game on low texture quality with very low graphic settings because they personally enjoy the more like wider pixelated boxes on walls to help set up tricks. Me personally, I've tried messing around and learning setups with low texture quality. I'm just not a fan of it, but it doesn't actually matter. Also, if you plan to run this game on low texture quality, and this entire guide is in high texture quality, it's not too big of a deal because the general area you're going to be looking is going to be the exact same. And it's very easy to go to someone's run, say Nosferatu or Terra, and watch the run, see where they look. Just because the majority of runners do play this game on low texture quality, it's very easy to see other people's visual cues and where they place their cursor. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to be playing on high texture quality because that's what I know. Alright, with graphics out of the way, we can go into input and then key config. So you'll notice that I have jump, bound to mouse wheel down, and mouse wheel up. That is crucial in this game. So there are a lot of situations in which you need to get a boost off of an object to either clip out of bounds or get up on top of something. And to do so, you need a lot of jump inputs really quick. So we bind jump to both mouse wheel up and mouse wheel down. Not all runners play with the exact same keybinds, but they're all pretty much alike for the most part. So you'll also notice that I have crouch and jump, double bound to mouse wheel up. That is because there are a lot of times where you need to get a jump and a crouch input at the exact same time, and jumping and crouching really fast with mouse wheel up is very effective. I know a lot of other runners also will double up on mouse wheel down on crouch as well, so they have both mouse wheel up and mouse wheel down for jump plus crouch. But me personally, I'm not a huge fan of having crouch on both of them, just because I feel like it kind of screws you up in some situations. Me personally, I find that mouse wheel up for crouch works fine. There's nothing I need excessive crouch inputs for. And having left control able to crouch in areas where I don't want to jump input is always nice as well. I think lastly, if we go to actions, yeah, you'll see that I have interact on mouse wheel up as well. So that's because when you climb ladders in this game, if you spam your mouse wheel and you have mouse wheel up as interact and then mouse wheel down as jump, you can keep jumping and grabbing ladders really quickly to climb up them. So these are the settings that I use. Like I said, not all runners use the exact same settings, but this is what I use. I find to be most effective. So now that we have all the key config and graphic settings out of the way, I think we can finally move into learning the route. So for the start of the run, we have about a minute and a half roughly of waiting time where we're either just watching the opening sequence or laying in bed. So I'm going to take this time to explain the Debug Toolbar. So the Debug Toolbar is what you enabled at the very start of the video. And it's pretty much your best friend when it comes to practicing. Of course, nothing in here can be used in an actual speedrun, along with quick save and quick load. You can't be using those in an actual speedrun either. I'm sorry. But it is great for practicing. So right off the bat, you have show FPS. You have show player info, shows you your health, your movement speed, your position, etc. You have useful stuff like debug overdraw and light complexity, which are both really useful in certain maps, along with inspection mode, which you can't see here, but I'll showcase later why this is so great. And probably the best part about the debug toolbar is load map. So you can hit double click on maps, and then from here you can load into any of the levels of the game. So you want to go to Reactor, you want to practice pig line, you just double click on it, it will load. Once you're in there, you'll have a drop down menu. So for Mansion 1, the level we're in right now, the first level of the game, we have main start, bed start. I'm guessing that stands for initial start, checkpoint start 1, checkpoint start 2, and temple intro 1, which we just watched. You can click on any of them, and then you would hit the teleport button right here, and it would take you exactly there. We don't want to do that though, so we're just going to play it out. So F1 to close. We also have F4 and F5 as your quick save and quick load buttons. F4 being quick save and F5 being quick load by default. So now is when the run starts. Right after the title comes up on screen, we're going to fade up from black and we'll be in the first room. In the first room, you won't have your HUD for a few seconds, or by that I mean like your cursor or any interaction prompts, but you can still interact with things. So you'll notice that I'll open this door even though I didn't have the interaction prompt for it. It's just something good to know. You'll be slowed down until around this pillar if you went fast enough. And then here I'm going to quick save real quick, and then we're at another slowdown trigger. So here is where we clip out of the first level. So you'll notice if I put on inspection mode that there is a ledge right here that you can stand on. You pretty much just sprint up. I didn't even mean to go through the wall. Real quick save, real quick load, I'm sorry. And then we'll turn off inspection mode for the time being. So you'll notice when you sprint up here, you're pressed up against this wall. You'll see a crack coming down the wall. Pretty much if you just stay to the right side of the crack, I usually try to look over here. You hold sprint, you press W, you go through. Now you also notice that there's a hole right here. If you fall into this hole, you don't make it across the gap, you pretty much, your run's already over. At this point, you either have to jump down here and void out, or you just go to the main menu and restart. And you really want to avoid doing that because the beginning is just painfully slow. So if you want to be risky, you can try to clip out early. So I didn't get it that time. I didn't hold forward when I clipped through there, but I'll let this lag pass. So if you try to clip through early, I don't know if I got it that time. It's really hard to say. But you can jump through that wall early during the slowdown. You do have enough speed to make it through. Yeah, see, I got it that time. So that would save time. But I personally don't think it's worth it. Every time I do it, I just run up. I wait for the slowdown to end. It's really not worth waiting through the cutscene just to save like 1 second of time. So you get here after you clip through, whether or not you clip through early during the slowdown or after. And there's an invisible wall here. Just jump up on top of it. Avoid this light in the hallway because it has collision. You try to run through it, it just stops you, and then eventually you get sucked into it. You have to jump out. So just avoid that. And then this is the door that takes us to Mansion 2, the next level. So you can either jump down and scroll up on it because you have interact on scroll up, or you can just jump down and click on it, which is what I do. And that was Mansion 1. Alright. Mansion 2 is very similar to Mansion 1. It's very straightforward and easy to do. There's a slowdown here that I like to kind of jump through. I don't know if it's actually faster, but it feels faster. And after we pass this couch, we're going to clip through this wall in between the light and the painting. This is probably one of the easiest clips in the game. You can just sprint jump through. Sometimes it can be a little finicky, but you should never really have any serious issue getting through. It's not something you'll ever be stuck on. I like to try to strafe into it if I can, towards the end of the couch. That time I didn't curve in enough. I like to try to aim for this corner. So when I come around like that, now when you get out, you want to hop over this because it has collision. Just hop over it. And you're going to go out off this corner. The reason we go off this corner and not over here is because there is a slowdown trigger right here. And we want to avoid this at all costs. So, you just want to run off this side. And then run over here. Down at the end of the hallway, what you're going to want to do is at this very last light, you're going to crouch and then walk off this direction. The reason we do that is if I put on inspection mode, you'll see right there, part of the like outer rim comes out. It's invisible, but it has collision. It sticks out. You'd think you'd be able to walk on it, but you can't. Your head ends up hitting a wall and you don't make it on. The only way you can make it onto that platform is by crouching. So you can do one of two things here. If you're playing with crouch available like I am, you can literally just crouch and walk off onto it like this. And now you're on it. Or if you're playing with everything bound, for example, I have mouse wheel up as jump and crouch. If you do just one jump and crouch, one input, you'll land in crouch. So as long as you're not sprinting, if you're walking forward at this point and you just do one tap, you'll land in crouch. So that's what I did for a while. If you running up, walk, and then like that, you'll be in crouch, and then you'll land down here. I think it's kind of slow. I don't like doing it. But once you're here, the load zone for the next level is literally just directly in front of you. So all you're going to do is just sprint off. And that's Mansion 2. So Cellar is the third map in the game, and the first one that we object boost in. So you're going to run over here, open the door, and then right when you get through, we're going to try to object boost off of these 3 wooden planks. And our goal is to try and get up on the ledge above us. So the way object boosting works is in this game, certain objects, if you spam jump against them, they'll kind of let you get multiple jumps on them like that. And if you spam fast enough on them, you can build up enough like speed or height to launch off of it, which we're gonna have to do at a few different points in the run. This is probably one of the easier ones. So what I like to do is I like to run forward, and then once I get close enough, I like to kind of strafe into this middle one. You'll notice I'm holding W and D. I'm kind of strafing into it, and then I will spam scroll up, which is my jump plus crouch, and my scroll down, which is my normal jump, while holding my strafe keys. So something like this. And then you'll get up here. So it shouldn't be too hard to do. The key is more so like where you're looking. Don't go too far to the left or too far to the right. But you should be able to get up fairly easily. Once you're up here, you want to jump over here and then jump up on this pipe. A quick save real quick. And then once you're up here, you'll notice that to get on this pipe in front of us, I can't jump up. Even with my jumpless crouch, it's not letting me up, right? Jumpless crouch, it's not letting me up. What you gotta do is you gotta do a neutral jumpless crouch, just one, and then hold forward. So now we're on this pipe, right? Our head's not through the ceiling yet, but if you sprint, or like try to jump, it'll push your head through the ceiling. So what we wanna do is we wanna do a neutral crouch jump, then hold forward, and then instantly like sprint out of it, if that makes sense. So like that. And then from here you can do another neutral crouch jump, or you can spam up. I know some people just like to spam like that, but regardless, that's how you get up through here. And then let me do that. So that, now you're up. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna go down here, follow this. Be careful when you're walking over here. Sometimes there's some weird collision that will like push you off if you're too far to the right. So stay on the inside. And then here there's an invisible wall here, and that's the door to the next level. So what we have to do is I normally come at it like this, and then I'll hold to the side like I'm strafing, and I'll jump over it like this. Before I would try jumping at it like this, like head on, and it's kind of finicky. So I find just strafing like this to jump over is a lot better. And that's Cellar. Alright, Alley is the 4th map in the game, and it's the first one in the run that we use a prop to help us out. So when we run in this room, we're gonna avoid the little ghost child, and then we're gonna grab this chair. So preferably grab it somewhere on like the lower side of the back of the chair. Anywhere around here is fine. And then after you grab it, you're gonna run over here and then face the board, because we're gonna place it on top of it. So you're gonna run in, grab it, and then run back. Once it's around here, you're gonna want to hit R to rotate, and then put your mouse up so that the legs come down. Once the legs are rotated down, you're gonna try to put the leg closest to you over the board, like that. Alternatively, you can put the back leg over like that, and have the 3 hanging over the front. Both of which will get you through the ceiling. I just find more success with it like this, but it doesn't actually matter. So once you have it set up, you're gonna sprint at the board and object boost up like this, and then once you're up, you're gonna object boost up off the chair to go up. Keep in mind that if you have interact on mouse wheel up like I do, not to look at the chair when you're object boosting off of it, because you might end up moving it and knocking it down. So it should like look like this. So you'll notice that I didn't even really look at the chair. I just kind of strafed into the chair. It's really lenient with how you get up. As long as the chair is placed up there, doesn't really matter how you're getting up. I'll try to show it like this. So that way gets you up just fine as well. So as long as you get the chair up there and you object boost, you should be fine. So once you get up here, you have 2 options. One is a faster, riskier option, which is jumping out and getting an object boost on this wall to land on the ledge, like this, to get over. And then the other one is boosting up onto the ledge from here. Like this. Like this to get up. And then once you're up here, you can just jump around this to get across to the other side. Both ways aren't hard. This way is just a little riskier because if you don't get a good boost off of this, you'll fall to your death. And if you get too good of a boost, you'll hit your head on this lip above you and it will knock you down. So a lot of times if someone's playing it safe, they'll just boost up like this and then they'll jump around. But generally, if you're trying to go fast, you'll probably do something like this. So now that you get over here, you're gonna object boost up on this roof. Sorry, I can't speak. And then the key to this is make sure that you're not too close to it. If you are too close, like, well, there, I got up. But a lot of times, if you're too close, you won't be able to get up. So you want to jump out at it. So something like this. Now that you're up here, there's an invisible wall in front of us. Like that you're going to try to jump on. And now that you're on it, it's pretty much the outside rim of the rooftop. So you're going to go like this, then like this, and then the fence right here there's another wall on top of that. So you're just going to go down into the fence, and then from here, you're going to jump onto the center of this tree. This tree has collision, and there is a slowdown trigger in the graveyard. So you pretty much just want to jump out at the tree to avoid the slowdown. Like that. Normally, you would take damage from that, but there's a bug in this game where when you quick save and quick load, sometimes it negates damage. And I was quick saving and quick loading, so I didn't take damage, but normally you'll take some fall damage jumping onto that, but it's fine. Then you'll jump down here and then walk down to the end of the level. And that's Alley. So once you get to church, you have two options. You have a easy, slow strat, and a faster, harder strat. The harder strat saves about 6 or 7 seconds, give or take. But it's kind of tricky to get consistently. It's definitely possible though. So I guess I'll show the hard strat first. So this door frame right here, right when you load in, you can boost up on it and then try to get an object boost through the ceiling, which looks like this. So that was really slow, but that's what it looks like. And then you get to this door right here. The other way is you run forward, you run up these stairs, and now you're here. So the slower strat is easy, you just run upstairs. The risky one, it's pretty fun to do, it saves time, but it can be hard to do consistently. But I can try to explain it. It's still like pretty new to me. What you're gonna want to do, I try to use my bottom scroll when I jump up here, because I don't want to get any crouch inputs when I first go up. So like that, I just use one scroll to get up, and then from there I try to use alternating scroll, and I try not to aim for the wall, but I try to aim more towards like the center of the room, to get up. So it's not too bad. It saves time if you're able to do it. So I'd recommend maybe learning it, but not if you're starting out. It's not worth it. So once you get into this room, you want to run forward. And I like to jump up here, and then once you get here, you kind of just go through. I wasn't even meaning to go through that easily, I'm gonna be real. But I'll show you the setup for it. Alright, so once you're here, you want to be on this ledge. Not the bottom one, but one up. The middle ledge. And you want to kind of walk into the crack to the left of the candle. Don't sprint, because the area that you're landing on is kind of small and you'll probably sprint off the edge. Just walk into it. Alright, apparently my recording stopped, but we're back. So once you walk out here, you should be on this ledge. Just jump over here and follow the path. You're going to want to jump up onto the frame of this door and then jump over to this one because there's a gap in between the two. And then just fall over here. So there are two options you can do here. You can either walk all the way around here and then do the door dive where you just jump back and you click the door, or you can get out over here, walk down, and then jump out to the door, and that's a little faster. It's much riskier though. So that is the end of church. Alright, now we're on factory. Factory is probably the easiest level we have left in the game. Probably. Maybe it's temple. It's hard to say. But it's one of the only levels left in the game that have little to no risk tied into it. Every level moving forward seemed to have some level of risk or challenge to it. This level is very easy though, so enjoy it. We pretty much run up here, we open the door, and then to move this object, what I like to do, I like to sprint at it and then just hit left click, right click, which moves it, right? You can do that twice. And then you just run through. You want to jump up here. And we're forced to hit the slowdown here. So pretty much just walk a straight line to that door in front of you. Hashtag too damn bony. And then after we open the door, we're going to do the exact same thing that we did in Cellar, where we do a neutral crouch jump and then hold forward after it and then sprint out of it. So like that. And then we're going to do the exact same thing to get up on these, but after we sprint out of it, we're going to boost up like that. So it's really easy to get out here. It's very consistent. If you can get on the pipe and Cellar by just mouse wheel up, forward, and then sprint to pop your head back up, you just do that exact same thing twice again. Now that we're up here, that elevator shaft down there is the load zone for the next level. And you can land on the elevator shaft, or like on the elevator itself and load into the next level. But we want to try to avoid doing that because we don't want to take damage. More so because we don't want to be slowed down for the start of the next level, even though we spent a lot of it in an elevator, so it doesn't really matter. What you should aim to do is just jump to the left of the elevator chute, or like, yeah. So you just want to jump and then you fall past it and you fall into the load zone. It's pretty lenient too. You can be pretty far to the left. If you're scared to miss it, you can just land on top of the elevator if you really want to. That was factories. And now we're going into tunnels. So at the start of tunnels, you want to avoid looking around much, because the elevator is going to crash, and then after it crashes, when we fade in from black, your camera is going to be completely different from where you put it prior. It just so happens that if we don't touch our camera at all, that when we fade in from black, we're facing the entrance that we want to, or I guess the exit where we want to leave. So once we fade in, all we have to do is put our camera down and lift up the elevator door. So if we were looking elsewhere, we might have like spawned looking this way or this way. So it's good to just not touch your camera at all. I'm gonna quick save. And then once you get out, you can do 2 strats, I guess. The first strat you have to do from this elevator, you jump up here, and then you do a neutral crouch jump up onto this. And then once your head's popped up, you just do another one, and then you're up. It's really easy to do. The hardest part with that is sometimes it's hard to get your head popped up. Like here, my head's already popped up, so I'm already good. But there are times where you'll do a like mouse up once, and then you'll try to pop your head up and you'll keep being put down. But once you have it at this point, you pretty much can just do mouse wheel up once and then hold forward and shift, and then you're up. You can just boost up. It's really easy to do. The other option is when you get out, run over here, jump across, and then you want to open this. And then I haven't done this one in a while. You open this cabinet. You want to make sure that you're standing on like this this beaker, right, on the table. Don't be standing down here. You want to be up here. And then holding forward, you want to do another neutral crouch jump on top of it. So you're on top of the cabinet now, and now you just want to boost into this corner, and then once you're up here, you just kind of want to hold shift and boost up. It's really weird to explain. I'll try to explain that better real quick. So you run over, you jump, you open this cabinet, you jump up on top of this beaker, and then neutral crouch jump up on top of this cabinet, and then you sprint into this corner, and then while sprinting, you mash up. I'll show that one more time, just faster. And then once you get up here, you want to get past this light. So there's a light on the ceiling. You get past this one right here, and then you're just going to jump directly straight out into this load zone. And that's tunnels. Alrighty, now is when the fun begins. So, we're now on sewers. If you ask anyone, or I'd say if you ask the majority of people who know this game or have ran this game, they'll tell you that sewers is one of, if not the biggest run killer in the game. It's not too bad on the Steam patch of the game, but on 1.01, the reason we use 1.01 is because of a trick called sewer clip, which takes place over in this corner right here. Let me quick save first. So what this trick is if we walk out this door, we hit a slowdown. We want to avoid that. So we come over here and we lodge ourselves in the corner of this wall in this archway. Once we're lodged in the corner, every runner finds their own specific spot, their own specific pixel on the wall that they look at. It's all pretty much the same angle, but some are higher, some are lower than others. And then pretty much what you do is you clip through the wall, and then as you clip through the wall, you either have to press back right as you clip through to stop yourself, or you have to jump the second you clip through and then strafe back around to catch yourself on the wall. The reason this is so hard is because the angle to clip out just on this wall alone is really precise. And then on top of that, the second you clip out, there's only a small line of pixels on the back side of this wall that you can stand on, or else you just fall to your death. So let me try to show you. So that's it. So as you can see, that's what I'm standing on, this line of pixels right here. There's nothing else. Any further, you fall to your death and your run's over. So what you do at this point is you just boost up and you're on the ceiling. From here, you run all the way over here. Actually, I'll quick save here. I'll teleport back to the start. I'll try to do it 1 or 2 more times to show you, and then I'll continue with the level. So my setup for this is, you'll see right here, maybe you can, there's a black dot. I'll toggle my cursor on and off so you can see where it is. There's a black dot there, and then to the side of it there's a white smudge. I try to put my cursor in between both of them, a little bit more on the white smudge than the black dot. So that time it was too far to the right. There we go. We got it again. So that's pretty much Sewer Clit. It's a massive run killer. So we're gonna go over here, follow this path. Alright, so you need to be careful over here. So over here you're gonna jump on this, like over this, and then jump across. That's way more of a sketchy jump than it may seem. Landing on this, it has some really weird collision. If you don't make it perfectly, it'll just like shove you off. So you have to be really careful when you do that. Alright. So at this point, hopefully I don't have the quick save bug where you don't take fall damage, because fall damage is a huge part of this. There are 2 ways that you can do this. The first way is the fast way, which I'm not great at, to be honest, and I haven't done in a while. So you walk off this, you jump, I made it, and now here you strafe around onto this. I'm purposely not going to click the door here because I want to show you the other options, but if I walk back, you'll see the door's right there. So I'll show you what that looks like with Debug Overdraw on. So you walk out onto this pipe. Alright, so I'm no longer taking damage right now, so it might be easier to showcase. You sprint jump onto this, and then what you're going to do is you're going to pretty much sprint off the side of this and jump last second and land on this pipe in the dark. That's the hard thing to do. And then you're not going to jump on this next one. You're just going to sprint and hug the side of this and land on this pipe. The door is directly under. It's right there. So all you have to do is just fall back from here, and then you click it. The other way that you can do is you go around the outside, and then from here you just walk off. You don't sprint, you just walk off. And that might happen sometimes. It's scary. If you go off too much of an angle, you might get geometry boosted off the side of the map, and then your run dies as well. Let me turn on overdraw for this just so you can see. I usually try to line myself up with like this center ring, and then I'll walk directly straight. You'll land here, and then you sprint and curve off onto this, and then you click the door. So those are the two options. The fast one, which is here, sprint jump to here, sprint jump to here, and then sprint around onto this. And then the safer, slower option, which is to run around the outside, get to this little ring, and then don't sprint, just walk straight off. And then you want to sprint and curve around onto this. And then that is sewers. There is a lot of room to have a run ended there. It's pretty terrifying when you're actually on a good pace run too. So we made it to Bilge. And Bilge is one of those maps that can make or break a run if you don't fully understand how Bilge boost works. So I'm going to do my best to explain it. So when you first get out here, you're going to object boost on this pipe. And then if you miss it, don't worry about it, keep walking. I'll show you a backup. If you get it, follow along. And from here, you're just going to jump over into the water. I'm not going to do that because I want to show you the backup. The backup is this pipe right here. You can get a object boost up on top of it, over this pipe, and then back into the water. Once you're over here, you want to run all the way over to the right, and there is a small piece of the platform that's invisible, that's sticking out. You can jump on that, jump up here, and jump back in bounds. Now if you have interact bound to mouse wheel up, you should be able to ladder climb fast with alternating scroll. So that's what I'm going to do. Run all the way to the last room with the red light and the wheel. And there's going to be like this pile of soot, like coal, dirt, something on the ground. You want to walk up it till it kind of bumps you up. See how, take a step, it kind of pops me up. You want to get to the point where you're popped up like that. And then you want to do a neutral crouch jump and then hold forward and then sprint out of it like that, so your head's popped up. And then you just want to do an object boost out of it. I'll show you that again, but faster. Wheel start. So get popped up and you're out. So now is the hard part of Bilge. This is Bilge boost. It is the biggest object boost that we need to do in the run, and it can be really challenging. It's kind of like a love-hate relationship with it. When you're on, it feels like it's 10 out of 10 consistent, but then other times it feels so finicky. Hopefully I can showcase both aspects of that right now. So what I normally do, I walk up to the steel girder, the steel beam. I find the intersecting point right here. And then you'll notice there's a bunch of bolts on both sides. Bolt, 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 bolt. So I go to the first pair of bolts to the left, right here. I stand roughly about here. Then I look at this blotch. I look to the right side of that blotch. And then I'll hold forward with sprint and W, mash, alternating scroll. And then once I start getting a boost, I'll hold W and D so I can strafe up onto that ledge. So let me see if I can show you. So I didn't get it, but I'll show you. I'll look at the exact same spot. And I got it that time. So it's really weird. It's this weird happy medium that you have to find. So that's it again. I'll try to do it one more time. So I think I was looking too far to the right on that. I kind of rushed it. That too. So that's Bilge boost. I assure you, it's not too bad. Although I only got it 50% of my attempts, it's really not too bad to get. It's very doable to get consistent at it. At one point, when I was playing this game a lot, I was able to get it probably 9 out of 10 times consistently. So once you get up here, you run over. There's a way that you can avoid taking damage here, but I'm not going to go into teaching you it. It's a small save. I wasn't able to get it there. You walk over here, and then you jump down and click the door. Be careful when you go to click this door. Don't go too close to the door, because if you do, you might fall into the door and take damage, which we don't want to do. So that was Bilge. Alright, now we're on Reactor. And Reactor has a pretty challenging object boost, I'd say. I don't think it's necessarily challenging, but I think it's hard to be consistent at. And I don't think I've ever really been at the point where I could say that I've been able to do this consistently. But it's not too bad once you understand how it works. So you want to be somewhere on like one of these planks. They're both like the same height. You just don't want to be higher up on these darker wooden logs or whatever they are. Be on the floor level ones. And then you want to jump somewhere to the middle left of this cabinet or this shelf going up. You want to sprint jump at it. And then the second you get on it, you want to let go of sprint. Hold W and D to strafe into the cabinet while alternating scrolls. Like that. It can be pretty hard to do, especially because when you normally load into this level from Bilge, you have very little health because of the fact that you jump down to the door. So let me try to do it with low health. You can do it with low health. It's just a little harder because you move slower. There we go. So you can do it with low health as well. Once you're up here, let me quick save. You'll notice that the only collision on this platform is on the side. If you land here, you will fall right through. So you want to jump over here. Like this. And then you'll notice, you should be taking fall damage here, but I have the quick save bug where it negates damage, so sadly I can't replicate certain things for you, but you can get an idea. So you'll notice right there is a pipe. What you want to try to do, and it will be easier when you have lower health because you'll be moving slower, you want to try to hit the very corner of that pipe, like where I'm aiming now, the far left side of it. If you hit it just right, it will give you a really, really fast geometry boost all the way to the left side over there where we want to go. It's a really, really cool looking strat. And if I'm not able to get it here because of the fact that I can't get my health low enough to like get the angle I need, then I'll just put a clip in or something of me getting it another time. But there's a backup if you miss it, so don't worry about it. So I'll show you what it looks like. Or I'll attempt to do it first. So because normally I would say to jump off this and strafe to the left, but because I have so much health right now and so much speed, I'm just gonna run off. So I didn't get it, but the backup is to land on this pipe right here. If you land on this pipe or this like steel beam, you walk over here. You're gonna want to jump just before this steel beam down here. Jump to the left, and then just spam scroll out of it. You'll get a pretty big geometry boost off of this, and then you'll be able to maintain your speed down there where we need to. So normally you can make it all the way over. If you happen to make it into this room here where you can't get all the way in, You want to walk up onto the top of these pipes and then just jump forward onto this thing, and then right to the left of this light you can push through like that, and then you get down here where you need to go. But I'm gonna try to showcase that again. So I got somewhat of a boost there, not the direction I wanted. Doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to get it right now. I'll just put a clip in of me getting it. Anyways, you're gonna walk over here, jump to this, get the boost, fall down here, open this. You can grab this ladder from out here. You don't even have to crouch. Spam up it. Crouch in. Run. Grab this ladder from here. Now, what you're going to want to do is when you spam up here, you want to be strafing with A and S when you climb. Because you want to go away from the ladder. If you don't do A and S, you'll be stuck on the ladder, and getting off of it... I'll try to show it. Well, it worked there. If you grab the ladder and you just try to go up normally, it can be really hard to get off this ladder sometimes. It will like keep you stuck on. So every time I do it, I always hold away. Now you just want to run over. Click all the dark ones on. 3, now 6. And now for 8, you walk as far away as you can. And now we just walk to the end. There's a long cutscene at the end.
Quickly, the air is thin. Their little faces turn blue, madness. They suffocate.
What you can do is you can move that one tick while you're waiting. Just move it a small bit up. Saves probably no time at all, but it's all good. So that's Reactor.
Set them all free. I live. I breathe again. I rise. I will rise to bleach the sky and still the water. I will spin the world wheel and set the future upon the path to redemption.
Where are my children? You promised me my children!
My time is come. More pig. More pig.
Boys, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
So now we move on to Engine Room, which has some really fun mechanics in it. Alright, so now we're on Engine Room. And Engine Room, kind of similarly to Reactor, has a spot in which we can get a pretty big boost of momentum off of some wonky collision. And if we spam hop out of it, we can kind of bunny hop to preserve the speed. So it's a pretty unique trick that we really don't do elsewhere in the run, or in the same fashion that we do it in this level. It's pretty fun. So we're gonna ladder climb. We're gonna try to ladder climb. That was really weird. Hold on, I wanna try something. Can you not do it from the side? I guess I was too far to the side before. So, excuse me. Once you get up to the top, you're gonna see these 3 pipes, your goal is to get up on the middle one. What I normally do is I'll climb up the ladder, I'll jump on this pipe, and then I'll turn around and jump up here. I know some runners, they try to boost up on this wall, I think. Yeah, like that, to get up. I don't like doing that, just because I think my way is very consistent, and it hardly loses any time. So I go like this, sorry, and then I jump up. Once you're up here, you do another neutral crouch jump, hold forward, sprint, and then boost, and that will pop you through the ceiling. Once you're up here, you're gonna go towards the steam. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure the steam slows you down. I could be wrong though. Yeah, it slows you down a little bit when you initially start coughing, it looks like. So you just want to avoid going into the steam. You can avoid it by just jumping over it. So when you boost up, you want to just jump over to the left. I got caught there, but you can avoid it. So once you get here, you're going to notice the grating on the left side of the building. You're going to sprint jump into it, and then hold sprint, A and W, so you strafe against it. So I'll show you what that looks like. And it should pop you up. You shouldn't have to spam jump or anything to get popped up. Like that. So once you get up, I'm going to make a quick save just in case. Okay, and we're going to run and jump up here. And then once we get up here, directly to our right, you're going to notice this grate. You're also going to notice this metal beam that runs lengthwise alongside the bottom of the grate. We're going to try to jump into this grate just left of this metal beam. So right in here. And once we're in here, you'll notice that you can't run forward and you can't run back. You can only run right or left. And that's really useful to know, but I'll explain more about that in a second. You'll also notice that if you jump towards the back side of this grate, it shoves you back. And this back boost that we get is the catalyst for the speed we need to bunny hop down this path. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to run over, we're going to sprint and jump, and then we're going to jump into the back side of this grate. We got a really fast boost that time. After you get the boost, what you're going to want to try to do is get a jump input off before you reach the starting point that you jumped from. Because like we talked about prior, this is a dead zone in which you can't really run much in this direction, if at all, right? So if you don't get a jump input off before you hit this point, most of, if not all of your movement speed is going to be killed. And if it doesn't get killed, there's a high chance it just gets converted into vertical momentum. So you might just jump late and get popped up in the air, which we don't want to happen. So focus on jumping in, getting a jump off, and then turning around after you get your jump off. So that was a very slow boost that I got. I also missed a bunny hop. So I could have probably taken that most of the way down, but let me try to show you what an optimal boost looks like. So that's a pretty optimal boost. You only needed to take you to this cross section of the 4 grates down here, and then we go to the right. If anyone is still confused on getting the boost, I will put Tara's tutorial in the description, because he probably does a better job explaining it than I do. But we're going to move on. So once you get down here, you b-hop down here, you're going to go to the right. And there's another grate here you can attempt to get another boost off of, but it's really not that necessary, seeing as we drop down right here. So it's a boost that's only going to save maybe like 1 second, but it doesn't really hurt to go for. If you're running over here, you can try to jump over, turn into the wall. Like when you jump over it, you can turn into it and then try to jump out of it. I'll try to go for it once. So I didn't get it. I don't usually go for this. Some runners do. Some runners are actually really good at it. It looks really clean when you get it. But if I get a really fast boost that takes me down here, I don't worry about it. It only saves maybe a second, maybe 2 at most if you get this. And it has potential to lose you time if you don't get it well. So I just walk around, and then I'm going to quick save real quick. And we fall down here. Now, normally, you would take damage falling down here, which is fine. I just didn't because of the quick save, quick load bug. So we're going to run into the corner of this grate, and this will push you down to back in bounds. So now that we're down here, you're going to try to clip through this grate. Now, the reason I quick saved up there is because sometimes we're going to clip through these bars right here. And if you go too far to the right, you'll be pushed out through this back wall, and then you'll soft lock. And at that point, your run's over. And that sucks, trust me. It's not fun. So we're going to attempt to squeeze through the bars there, and we're through. I'll try to show you what worst case scenario looks like. If you go too far to the right, you get pushed out. So you want to avoid doing this. You want to try to find the in-between of not going too far right. See there, it pushed me out right away. That's not good. That's run over right there. So I like to be kind of like cautious when well, I got pushed through again. It's I wasn't even trying to that time. Like that. Try not to look too far to the right when you're doing it. This is the key. So now we're just going to run in, and you're going to pull the lever on the elevator, and that is engine room. So now we're loading into Streets, and Streets is one of the only, I think it's the only map in the run that we do as intended. Technically we do Temple as intended, but there's a small trick that we can do to save some time on Temple, so it's hard to say. This map, you pretty much just run the entire time. There's nothing special about it, not really too much to explain. Just follow the route that I take. I guess something to explain is throughout the level, you'll notice these slowdowns that happen. There's like screen shake, like right there. And they're pretty random. They don't happen at the exact same times every time you're on the level. We're going to crouch through this window. And at the very end of the level, when you're entering the load zone to the next level, if the screen shakes from I don't know if it's due to like explosions or I don't even know why the screen shakes happen, but if one happens as you enter the load zone for the next level, you'll be permanently slowed for the next level, and you won't have the speed you need to do the trick in pig line. So it's the only thing you really have to worry about in this level. But I've only had it happen to me a handful of times in the years I've played this game, so don't worry about it. Here you have a pig chasing you. You might get hit by it. It kind of depends on the slowdowns. Yeah, see, I got hit there. Sometimes you won't get hit. And then here your camera might try to turn to look at the pig. Yeah, see, mine's doing it now. It's not a big deal. Sometimes your camera won't turn to look at the pig, and other times it will. Not a huge deal. And now here we run into the elevator, and then we hope we don't get a slowdown as we fade into the black. So we got one there. So hopefully we don't get another one as we load in. Yeah, we're good. Oh, we got one last second. I heard it. I don't think it's going to affect us. If it does, I'll just like reload this map. It's not a big deal. You wouldn't be able to do that in a run, but alright. We have max speed still, so. Alright, we're back. Sorry about that. I had to cut my recording real quick, deal with something. But we're back, and we're on Pigline. Pigline has always been my least favorite map in the entire run. Sewers was always a bigger run killer for me, but I always despised how inconsistent I was on Pigline. No matter what variation of Pigline boost I was doing, it always felt like I was rolling dice when I got to this point of my run. So hopefully I can help you better understand it, because I'm no master at it myself. So remember in Bilge when I said that Bilge boost was the biggest object boost we do in the run? I think I may have been lying, because I forgot about Pigline boost. And in Pigline, we get an object boost off of this steel beam in front of us up onto this pipe opening thing, and it's really hard to do. I think it's easily one of the hardest tricks in the game to do. It blows my mind when I see certain runners get it consistently. The only variation of Pigline that I was ever comfortable with is the Steam Patch version, where you boost up right here on this wall, and that was always pretty consistent to me. I could get it probably like 60-70% of the time, whereas the Steam or the 1.01 version that we're playing on now, this always felt like I was just gambling every time, see if I got it. But let me explain it. So you want to come at an angle somewhat like this. You don't want to be too much to the side, and you don't want to be too head on. Some angle like this is probably fine. And then I like to aim for the right of this area, this like line going down in the steel beam with the 2 rows of bolts going down. I like to aim a little to the right of that. And then, believe it or not, I find that that mouse wheel up, because it has crouch inputs, I feel that crouch jumps in this kind of screw you over, or at least that's how I felt personally. So I do this boost only with scroll down. I'll just keep scrolling down in like large chunks, hopefully that some of my scrolls down catch. So like that. So let me see. How do I want to explain this? So you kind of just want to aim somewhere around here on the wall, I guess, is where I am. And like I said, I don't think most runners only use scroll down like I do, but I find that scroll down helps me a lot. So now we're up here. Once you're up here, all you want to do is just, let me I'll quick save real quick, and what we're gonna do is, let me put on debug overdraw. Alright, so you'll see there's a steel beam there and a steel beam there. You want to jump between the two. With it off, you really can't see it, but somewhere like this, and you will fall all the way down here into the blood, and you will take a lot of damage. Like I said, I kind of have the quick save quick load bug on, so I'm still full health, but you'll fall down here, you'll take a lot of damage, and then you're just going to want to walk this direction into the room of just massive lake of blood and the elevator. And that is Pigline. And although it seemed like I knew what I was doing, I assure you that when I get there in a run, I probably will not be able to get Pigline boost. So, yep, that's Pigline. So now we're loading into Tesla 1. Tesla 1's a pretty easy map, if you know what you're doing. It's not too bad. Tesla 2 is a scary one, but for the time being, Tesla 1 isn't too bad. Alright, 3 maps left. So you don't have to open this gate, you can run through, run left, open the door. Here you can either choose to open the door more, or you can just kind of squeeze through. I think it's faster to open the door a little bit more and then just run through. Run right. Run right again, you're going to find a room labeled the sausagery right here. And this is going to be the room that we clip into. So you want to run into the middle of this gate section. I find that running left to right helps a little bit more than running right to left, but it's pretty easy to clip in. So now that we're in this room, you're going to run to the lower left corner of the room, and you're just going to sprint into that corner. It's going to drop you onto the floor. Once you're here, you're going to do or what I like to do is a lot of like strafe jumping over things. So currently I'm holding Shift, A, and W, and then I'm just going to jump to get over that wall. I'll follow this around, jump on top of this thing, and then over this wall right here, and then another strafe jump to get over this wall. And now that we're here, we're running to the end. You can jump down here. I'll put on inspection mode to show you. You can stand on this and then jump here, jump over, and then you can do one of two things here. I'll quick save and then inspection mode off. You can either jump out like this and click the door, or you can instead of going down here, you can go up here and then fall off and click the door. Whatever you feel comfortable doing is fine. And that's Tesla 1. Alright, now we're on Tesla 2. And Tesla 2 is pretty scary, only because it's the last map in the run that you can die on. And if you die on this map, you lose a lot of time because the void out zone is way lower on this map than it is on other maps. And then you'd spawn back in front of that door. So running all the way back after voiding out, it's like a minute worth of time gone. A minute's worth of time gone, yeah. So when you get to this ladder, a lot of people have the problem when climbing this ladder. They'll be too close to it, and when you're too close to it, you can't climb it. So what you want to do is when you run up to it, make sure that you're far away, and then move in at the end. So you're far, and then as you get towards the top of the ladder, you start holding forward to get up here. And then you want to curve jump around and land up here. There is, where's inspection? This you can stand on right here. So you just want to jump around and land on this. And then from here, jump up on the pipe. I'm going to quick save real quick. And this is Tesla 2 object boost. So what I do for this is I walk forward until this ring pops me up. So you see how I get popped up right here. Once I get popped up, I try to align the top of this wire to be in between the middle of the two pipes. So right about there, it's in the middle. And then I'll aim to like the lower left of it. I'm maybe halfway down the wire around here. And then I'll sprint forward, boost, and then I try to W and D to strafe against the side of this pipe when I go up. So I'll try to show that again. Get boosted up, put it in the middle, and then boost up. It's not too bad to learn. It's just really scary to do. So the last hard trick you have to do in this run. So I'm going to quick save right here just to explain some stuff. Okay, now we are going to jump on this ledge. And what we're going to do here is we are going to push through this wall. So just sprint through the corner of the wall and then keep sprinting to climb up the next wall. Like that. Once you're up here, we have to try to jump around this pole. So just aim a little to the right. Just sprint around it. You don't even really have to jump. Once you're here, we're going to try to jump into the side of this wall in front of us. So like that. Get up here. Once you're up here, you're going to jump on the wire and then take this into this room right here. And then once you're in here, just be careful. I don't have advice on how to be careful because the collision in here is so wonky. I have no idea how it works. But I try to avoid jumping on the middle of these things because the collision in this room can just pull you down into these small, like, this room under here is just tiny, tiny chambers and you can't get out. So when going through this room, just try to be careful. It's really annoying to get sucked down there and then lose a run. So once you get here, you're going to jump up on this wall. Or you can jump over it if you want. You don't have to jump on it. But pretty much we're going down below. There is a ladder that we need to click on to get back in bounds. So I recommend just using left click. But if you want, you can scroll up with interact and try to like slow yourself down and then grab it with left click after. But this is where it is. So I was really close. I should have made a quick save to show it again, but you get the hang of it. You pretty much just jump down, and then you want to click it. It will take you in bounds, climb it up to the top, and now we're just going to go around and click all the objectives. So, bam. 2. 3. And then 4. And now we're back at the ladder. What I like to do is just drop down, and then towards the end I like to up scroll. So I just grab it for a second. Come through this door, and then walk into the light. And that is the last place in the run where you can die. Tesla 2. Alright, the first thing you want to do in Temple is hold back because we want to go this direction and it spawns you facing the opposite way. So during the white explosion, you want to hold back. And most of Temple is an auto-scroller, so there's not a whole lot we can do to speed it up, but there are a few small tricks that I'll go over. Most of them revolve around this, or I guess all of them revolve around this conveyor belt, which if I quick save right here, you'll notice if I just walk into it, I am going, even if I sprint, I'm going very slow. Show player info. We're moving, if you look at my average speed, on the movement speed all the way to the right, it's just like 1.4 over and over. Doesn't get faster than 1.4. So what we can do is the back of this conveyor belt has weird collision, kind of similar to the weird collision in a reactor that we can jump out of. So what I like to do is when I walk into this room, I like to align myself with the left side of the conveyor belt, like this white line, and then I like to walk towards this room, kind of similar to like, or kind of close to the railing right there, maybe a little left to the railing. And then when I fall in, I hold back. You'll notice I have a boost now. So you just tap back. It's a pretty decent boost actually. So notice my speed still hasn't gotten to where it's supposed to. So right there, 1.4 now. So what we do at this point is if you tap back, right? The conveyor belt tries to keep you at a steady pace. So it tries to like put your speed up because you're walking backwards, right? So here, what you can do is you can keep walking back and stepping forward to get movement speed. If that makes sense. I think it only works towards the end of the conveyor belt. I don't think you can do it early, but... So I got no boost there. I wasn't aligned well, but... So notice I'm at 1.6 average speed. 1.46, I'm sorry. And then... You notice that my average speed is going above 1.4 now. If you just take a step back real quick and then walk forward. And then towards the end of this, it really tries to keep you in place, like right here. I can't even walk backwards. You want to keep walking back and then moving forward at the end. You get a lot of speed out of it. So that's pretty much all the tricks there are to Temple. The rest of this is just holding forward. With the boost at the start of the conveyor belt with the weird collision on the back end, you kind of just have to mess around with it. I don't know anyone that has learned to get consistent good boosts off of that. It's probably one of the more random things in the run. You can get boosts that will take you maybe a quarter of the way down the conveyor belt. You can get boosts that will take you like 1/8 of the way down, or you can get a boost that will take you like 80% of the way down. It kind of just depends on where you line up, and it's kind of weird. So I'd say it's probably something to spend some time messing around with, but don't spend too much time, because at the end of the day, it's nothing that's gonna make or break your run. And well, I shouldn't say that. Funny enough, I've actually had a PB come down to whether or not I got Temple Boost. And if I remember correctly, I didn't get it. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe. Let me put on. So that is Amnesia, a machine for pigs. It's a pretty awful speedrun. I probably should have said that at the start of this video. I highly recommend that no one plays this game. I'm gonna be real. But I did want to make this video. So time normally stops when you click this button. So that would be time. So that's where the run ends. So yeah, that is Amnesia, Machine for Pigs. I hope this guide was helpful to anyone who's stupid enough to choose to run this game. If you have any questions about it, the community is pretty smart and still around. Whether or not people run this game, everyone's still around. Everyone still answers questions on the game. I know a lot of the runners are more than happy to help people who are trying to get into it, although we all advise against it. But yeah, feel free to shoot me a message on Twitter, or any of the runners for that matter. Stop by one of their streams, or yeah. So I hope it helped. Take it easy, guys.